encounters South Africa taking on England. Now, it's been warm, as you would expect in Sharjah, a high of 36 degrees Celsius and also wind of 26 kilometers an hour, so just slightly more than what we've experienced in Sharjah. Now, as this is pitch number 4, let's remind you then of the dimensions here with pitch number 4 being used. Straight hit, 73 meters. The square boundaries, there's a slight difference in those two, one being 63 meters and the other 59. Difference in those square boundaries, something to take into account. Definitely something to take into account is the surface itself, and Lisa Stalaker has joined me. Lisa, let's talk about the surface. What your thoughts are?
Yeah, well, certainly what we've learned from the 4 games that have played in Sharjah is that 72% of the overs have been bowled by spinners and 70% of the wickets have fallen by spin. So I can't believe I'm actually going to tell you the secrets of how to beat some spinners from a batting perspective. But one player that did so was Beth Mooney for Australia. She unbeaten 43. And what she did so well was that she was able to move out of her crease really well when the ball was flighted, and then when it was a bit flatter, she went deep in her crease. So we're looking at a margin of like 3 meters, 3.5 meters. So I think that's really important for someone like a Nat Sivabrunt to move her feet back and forward. Some players within England and South Africa do it well. One other thing I do want to say is I like the pitch. There is a couple of bare patches, which you may see variable bounce, but I actually think we're going to see a pass score of 135, hoping to get up to that 140 mark.
140 would be interesting. Now, someone who is going to have to bat and bowl on this surface is the South African vice captain, Chloe Tryon. I caught up with her a little bit earlier on. Chloe, thanks very much for joining us. Last game, day game in Dubai. We know how hot it was. How's the team rested up since then?
Plenty of rest. I think we knew what we were up against. We do have a couple of training games here. Oh, training days, sorry. Heat is obviously a big factor, but I think we managed it really well. And I think we had a really clinical performance as well.
Change of venue as well, coming into Sharjah. How do you prepare then for this game?
Obviously, we had a couple night game training training. It's been good. Obviously, it's a bit cooler, but I think judging from how the games have been here as well, outfield is a little bit slow. So I think as a team, just making sure during those periods when we're batting, if we need to grind a little bit longer, we should. But yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good wicket, a little bit slower. So I think as a team, just making sure that we assess it as quick as we can and then take it from there.
Quite a few of the players have played in England and played with the opposition. Obviously, you know the players well. How important is then the knowledge sharing amongst the team?
Yeah, a lot. Obviously, we played a lot against them. I've played with a couple of them as well in Southern Brave. It's obviously nice to play against them so I can see how they play. But I think as a team, we know what we're up against. They are world-class players, match winners as well. So we know we always get close games against England. So yeah, we know it's going to be a really good contest today.
Spin's been a major factor through the tournament. Spinners have enjoyed their time. Tell us about your spin attack.
Yeah, that's been really well. I think Glover proved in the last game. I think she fired at the right stage. I think for us, just making sure that we're keeping it nice and simple, keeping the stumps into play. I think Lindsay Smith bowled about 70 to 80% on the wickets their previous game. So just making sure we're keeping it nice and simple and hopefully restrict them to a good score. Good luck. Play well. Thank you.
Lydia, what do South Africa's spinners need to do well against England's batters?
I think Chloe Tryon there just hit the nail on the head. They have to bowl straight at England. They have to make them think about trying to create angles and work the gaps, because if you look at some of the dismissals in terms of how England got out the other day, their hands were isolated from their body and they weren't always in the best position. So I think that for South Africa, that actually gives them a bit of hope. If they're thinking, I need to bowl straight, knowing that England do like to use their crease, they like to move around a bit, they like to use the sweeps, the reverse sweeps. That will be something that they'll be thinking about. There will be opportunities created, and you only have to look at Alice Caps's dismissal. She tried that reverse sweep 3 times in a row and eventually was caught. So they just have to hold